Hey family, this is Elder Topaz, Director of Connections at the Potter's House of Fort Worth, and I pray that you are doing well and blessed on today. If you would, please like this, share this, and tag someone and let them know we are on right now. Now, not only does this month of August kick off National Friendship Day and National Sisters Day, but this month is a very important and significant time in the lives of our students and parents because they are gearing up for all things back to school. Now, our back to school giveaway is coming up on Saturday, August the 13th, and as your church family, we not only want to provide school supplies and resources, but we also want to share important information, tips, and strategies for parents and students regarding school safety as they transition back into school in the midst of Uvalde and the pandemic. Now I have a very special guest who is not only a dear friend and sister of mine for over 20 years, but she's also a campus administrator, a school leader, and a community advocate right here in Tarrant County. Her name is Assistant Principal Samantha Brittenham, and we're going to have a little conversation about some information that we can bring to you to help you transition into the new school year and be prepared for all that is to come. Check it out. Thank you, Assistant Principal Brittenham, for being with us and taking time to really help our students and families go into the school year informed. And so if you don't mind, I want to jump right on in.
Let's go.
Is that all right?
That's fine. Let's go.
So in addition to still being in the pandemic, school safety is now just as important as what we were going through in the pandemic and worrying about the next variant. And so we want to provide our church family with some important information, some tips, some strategies about how to enter and transition into the new school year in lieu of Uvalde and the pandemic. Because now the school system has created such a volatile and vulnerable place for school administrators and teachers and students and parents. And so we want to ensure that students feel safe as they go into the new school year. So I just want to ask you a few questions just to help our school family and our church family really transition well.
Okay.
So my first question is this. What can parents do to create an awareness around school safety, like a situational awareness in the environments that they find themselves in? Whether that be at a football game, in the classroom, in the hallways, in after-school events. What can they do to create some type of situational awareness?
So first thing I'll say is that every district has a safety plan for every area, whether it be, like you said, the playground, the classroom area, non-instructional areas. So know your school's protocol for that. Every administrator has a copy of it. In their offices, every teacher has a copy of it in their classrooms for view for those families. Also, every school has a school resource officer. And so that is one of the other highlights of our school safety plans is that we have at least 1 to 2 officers in most schools, and they help to guide those plans as well. Know your students. Keep communication lines open because sometimes students may know something before we do. And so we have Crime Stoppers. We have other tip lines where parents can use to report things as well. Stay abreast to the district's social media sites because now the state of Texas has mandates in place for us for school safety as we're going through, and so now those districts have to implement those plans. So we have plans in place, but we're going to even strengthen those plans even more. So the more the parents stay in the know about those is extremely important.
So one of the things that I remember when I was in the school system is that system, if you see something, say something.
Correct.
But oftentimes, you know, students don't want to be called a snitch, or students don't feel comfortable sharing information or tips that they get. So what would you suggest to students and parents when they have that key vital information that needs to be shared with the school, with an administrator, with a safety officer or SRO?
Right.
What do they need to do?
So I would tell any student or parent, always follow your instinct, your gut, your intuition, I should say. If you feel like it's something wrong, or if you're seeing something occurring in your school that you know is against the school policy, that is going to cause a safety issue, please immediately use those tip lines for shoppers. Contact the administrators at the school to let them know. In most cases, we can, well, really in all cases, we can keep students anonymous. So that, and I know that's been a big fear for some of our parents. They don't want their students to get targeted for those situations. So we can keep those students anonymous, and please just report it. Social media is the root of everything. So our students, whether our parents know it or not, they usually have 2 social media pages. They have the page that you know about, and then they have a spam page.
Wow.
And so those spam pages is where they go to put content that they wouldn't want their parents to see. So I would definitely investigate what they're doing online. What are they watching? Some of the threats that we've seen in the past, it started out on social media.
Wow.
And what kids do, they'll take it and they will reshare. And so then you'll end up with a huge safety issue for our schools, all based off of one post. And that post could, we have to treat all those posts as a threat.
Wow.
And so sometimes those posts come out and they're not true. It's not a true threat to the school. So be careful what you post. Be careful of your surroundings. Get to know your neighbors and your communities. Let me say that too.
Wow.
Because the more you know your neighborhood, your community, your classmates, sometimes our students don't know their classmates like they should. If you build relationships with those classmates and those teachers, you should be able to build relationships and rapport where you're comfortable enough to report those things. And that's what type of schools that we want to have, is that students feel safe with reporting that information.
Wow, and that's so key, the power of relationships. Because that right there could be the key to life or death.
Yes.
Of someone or something that's going on in the school.
Right.
And so my last question for you is, how can parents and loved ones get involved and stay connected with the changes and the latest developments regarding school safety and those safety plans on their campus? Because I know sometimes parents feel like they're out of touch, or they don't have power, or they don't have a say-so on the decision-making process in a school. But how can they get more involved?
Well, I'll start out first. You know, the state of Texas has now implemented safety mandates that I talked about previously, so that should be available on TEA's website. In addition to that, your Board of Education for every school district is your means of going to voice your concerns, and also most of those boards should be putting out information right now available to those families of their districts to let them know what their safety plans are. And so I would just have those, I would say to those parents, go and inquire about what the safety plan is for the district, because that should be, you know, public information at this time based off of where we're headed with the current news events that we've had.
And then a lot of schools I know used to have like town hall meetings, school board meetings, and just different meetings, PTA meetings, PTO, you know, the importance of getting involved so you know exactly what decisions are being made, exactly what the new changes are, you know, even with here in Texas with, you know, TEA. So I also love that you said that, because parents need to stay involved on every aspect of what's going on here. Any last words or advice that you would have for students and parents as they transition back into the school year?
I would just definitely add to what you were saying. We need you in the schools. We've had success during the pandemic where I worked with town hall meetings, and it was the most highest attended family gathering or parent meeting that I've seen since I've been an educator, and that was on Zoom. Just parents wanting to be in the know about what's going on with their students and what's going on with the school year. So if you have not done so, please volunteer. Please ask your students questions daily. How was their school day? Meet your administrators. And just know that we do everything that we can to make sure that our students are safe. And that's a daily job for us from the time they get here until the time they leave. So make sure you make connections with that, and just volunteer. I think volunteering is best. And then also that community piece is key. Know your neighbors. Know who your students are interacting with. And so if you see something, please say something. Please report those things.
Wow, well, thank you so much. You know, I absolutely love you, Sam.
Yes, I love you too.
We've been friends for such a long time,
Yes.
co-workers, co-laborers, you know, administrators together. So I absolutely thank you for taking your time out. I know this time of year is so busy, but we will be, as your church family,
Yes.
Definitely come back and see us, stay connected with us. We're going to stay connected with
Yes,
you, and
yes.
just know we are praying for you for an amazing,
Thank you.
blessed, and awesome school year.
Thank you.
All
We
right.
need it. All right. Thank you.
Take care.
All right.
Family, please know that your church family is praying for you and your students as they transition back to grade school, college, technical school, grad school, seminary, and ministry school. Whatever level you are pursuing in education, we are praying and here to walk alongside you in this journey. Before I get out of here, I want you to save the date for Sunday, August the 14th. For a time of worship and prayer for our family, students, educators, and administrators going back to school. And save the date for Saturday, October 29th for our EduFest. Stay connected with us by following us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and by downloading our app. Family, we love you.